Hi, I'm Janey Beardsley, and today I'm going to discuss my spring 2021 internship at the Berkshire Edge. While this semester was full of surprises and challenges due to the ongoing pandemic, the experience I gained was extremely valuable, and I'm grateful I got to partake in it. The Berkshire Edge is an online news source that focuses on news surrounding people, events, and other happenings within Berkshire County. Occasionally, they will discuss other towns or national news, but always connect it back to the Berkshires. It's one of the most popular local news sources for the county. Throughout the internship, I worked under my mentor, Edge reporter, and managing editor, Terry Cowgill. Cowgill has been at the Berkshire Edge for about 5 years now, but previously was the managing editor at Berkshire Record, which was another local Berkshire newspaper that printed weekly. As an intern at the Berkshire Edge, I was given the task to write about local businesses. During our weekly meetings, Cowgill and I discussed local happenings and developed story ideas. These ideas varied from topics like new restaurants, cannabis dispensaries, and young business owners. While I enjoyed coming up with my own ideas, Terry often assigned me stories he felt were newsworthy. Creating these articles was no easy task. Each one involved multiple steps to get to the finished product. The first step was to reach out to people I wanted to interview. Luckily, many of my articles stemmed from press releases, which often came with contact information for journalists. By the end of the semester, I wrote so many emails it was insane. However, never underestimate the power of a well-written email. After scheduling my interviews, I wrote down all the questions I wanted to ask, keeping in mind that I should always remember follow-up questions could be required at any point. After conducting my interviews, I find it extremely helpful to transcribe the entire interview. This helps me organize my articles and assures that I have all the quotes 100% correct. The actual writing of the article is the easier part of the process. It might take a while to get everything just right, but once I have all the pieces of the puzzle, it's just a matter of putting them in place. I'm really proud of all the articles I was able to write this semester and grateful that I was able to speak with so many kind and passionate people. One of my first stories to cover was about a local cannabis growing facility set to locate in Sandusfield, Mass., my hometown. I was able to speak with one of the facility's partners who was very excited about the project. I then tried to speak with a select board member who would be voting on the project, but they unfortunately chose to opt out of commenting on the situation due to the negative light being placed on them by the townspeople already. The other select board members refused to comment as well. However, after I began to delve into the story, it quickly escalated, and Cowgill and I decided it best for us to work on the article together. I covered 2 grueling town meetings about whether the facility should be allowed to build in Sandusfield, and the residents' opinions on restrictions that should be made for these types of businesses. These meetings were each 2 hours long and required taking vigorous notes. When it was all said and done, I wrote my own article about the outcome of the meetings. However, since the story was changing so rapidly and decisions about it were being made daily, Cowgill ended up only using parts from my article to use in his own pieces. Of course, he made sure to attribute me at the end for assisting with them, but I was quite disappointed that my personal article wasn't published. I was fairly proud of how it had come out, but it was an important lesson to understand that stories can change fast, and it's the journalist's job to keep up with the changes. My next article was a more personal story surrounding a young business owner who wanted to make a difference in his community. Jake Hunker is a barbershop owner who wanted to donate $5 to a local youth group for every haircut he did for a whole week. It was awesome to get to know him, and the article proved very popular on social media, which was great for Hunker's business, the Berkshire Edge, and me. I also was able to visit his shop and take photos of his storefront and take some additional photos of the youth group's headquarters. This was a fun additional task for the internship. After that article, I was able to write another one surrounding a young landscaping business owner, Matt McEwen. This was a fun article to write because I've actually known McEwen since we were kids, so it was nice to get reacquainted with one another. I decided to take a more storytelling approach with this article and paint a picture of what it was like when he first started his business. However, in this process, I found it was extremely difficult to get him to talk, and learned another lesson within journalism, that sometimes you'll have to work hard to get your interviewee to give you substantial answers. My final article surrounded a cultural banner designing project to be hung up in Great Barrington. Great Barrington is one of the more populated towns in the Berkshires and receives many visitors during the summer months. This project was created to bring cultural awareness to the locals while also informing the tourists. I was able to talk with my high school art teacher who was the leader of this project, so it was really cool to show him where I am now. Just as well, I got to talk with a student artist who was really passionate about her piece. I'm glad I was able to highlight this historic event because I believe these banners will be a symbol of the town once they go up. Over the course of this internship, I've learned many lessons. The most important one being don't get discouraged. Whether it's a source that won't respond, an article that gets out of your hands too quickly, or trying your best to work with people who can't find the words, it's important to take a deep breath and try your best to create articles that are meaningful to yourself and the readers. I think that with this internship experience, I have a better idea of what a future career in journalism might look like for me. It allowed me to understand the importance of being passionate about your work, for it will reflect in your writing and attitude. Overall, creating work that will connect the community around me is something I can definitely see myself doing in the future.